This is the second official Townhall Meeting for RBC, Resource-Based Communities. A lot has happened since the first meeting that we've had. I believe, how long ago did we have our first meeting? Was it a month ago? Six weeks? Okay. So anyway, for those of you that don't know, I know everybody here, how the company actually formed. And it was with the help of Ellen Peterson. And she basically gave me a lot of tools and a lot of knowledge to start a nonprofit. And since then, I've been working with Chris and Marlene and everybody else in this room now to start this organization up and help create sustainable community areas, starting here and then hopefully branching out throughout the United States. So since this has happened, since we actually began in November, the numbers of people that have become a part of this project have increased dramatically. And even in the last, I would say in the last few weeks, the amount of participation has gone way up. So I'd first like to tell you guys the differences that we've been seeing since we started. And it's something that I'm really proud about to be a part of, and I think you guys will be too. So, okay. I think it was 2 weeks ago that they posted the video. Okay. 2 weeks ago, a global organization called the Zeitgeist Movement, it's a social sustainability movement, took the video that we made on the Estero River, it was a promotional video, and they posted it globally, all over the world. And we had about 100 views on it when we first started. We had had that video up for a few weeks. Since they posted that video up through the Zeitgeist Movement, we have gotten over 3,800 views within 1 week. So that's an extreme jump. Since that's happened, our group page on Facebook has gone from 25 people to about 100. The Facebook page, where you can like the page, has gone from, I think it was around 60 or something like that, to over 150 people. We have members now that have joined the site in Michigan and in Alabama. Bobby Lee and I have made a public appearance on television in front of the Conservancy.
It was the Collier County Commission Chamber.
County Commission Chamber.
For Conservation Collier.
For Conservation Collier. We've done that, and she's also been kind enough to donate 2.5 acres to the project, which we have already broken ground on. And we have been out on this property with machetes and loppers and taking out the invasive peppers that have been on the property, which is a huge pain, but we're doing it with volunteers. So anybody that's contributed to this project, which I'm seeing everybody here has contributed in some way, we owe you guys a great thanks. And for the people that are watching on YouTube, you're more than welcome to come and join us and be a part of this, because it's been extremely profound so far. Also, last but not least, we've been now featured on 4 websites, one of them including Natural Awakenings. They gave us a little article on there too. So, since we've begun, this has been growing very, very fast, and we've also been raising some money to do these projects as well. And we have a great deal of concern in our backyard, locally. This is where it's all starting, is right here. There is a 200-acre panther preserved area. It's where panthers can freely go back and forth, and we're worried that one day it can be taken over by somebody who wants to exploit the land for profit and use that for their benefit, blocking off panther corridors and things of that nature. So we would like to preserve this land and turn it into a community center. And Bobby Lee's property, the 2.5 acres, is right across the street from this 200-acre tract. They also have a house on stilts on the property, which we would like to use as a welcome center. And we also have plans of doing aquaponics, organic gardening, and things like that. So I'm going to let Bobby Lee talk about this piece of property, because she has been working with Ellen Peterson to try to get it into another nonprofit, Appalachian, when they were still involved in that organization. This has been going on for 5 years, and so now we're trying to do it here. So Bobby Lee, she is the Director of Operations in Collier County.
which I'll tell you about in a minute. But first of all, let me start by just telling you that Alan Peterson and I tried to go out and talk to Bob Gore, who owned the 200 acres, about 5 years ago. And we were unsuccessful in getting him to deed it so that when he passed or something happened to him, that the property wouldn't go up for sale. Conservation Collier has this property on their B list, so they're very interested in purchasing it. Florida Wildlife Federation actually bought a really small piece of it already that they thought was a very substantial piece for wildlife preservation. And so there's been a lot of people interested. Isaac Walton League has expressed some interest in helping us with this project. And of course the Sierra Club's behind the Responsible Growth Management Coalition, and the Conservancy is also offering some help in it, possibly finding people to fund this project. So a lot of the environmental groups are on board. And let me just start by saying that 10 years ago, I bought some property out here, which is right there. And that's how I met Bob, who owns all of this that's highlighted in red. And this. My 5 acres over here, Mitch was talking about, will be an eco-spiritual center. I donated 2.5 to resource-based communities, and the other half, though, is going to be part of the eco-spiritual center too. So I'm in on that, and we'll be doing something really cool with that 5 acres. This area is very, very important for wildlife preservation and habitat. And I'll start with this map and just tell you a little bit about this map. This actually shows in orange the Gore properties. And as you can see, we've got the Picayune Strand, Fakahatchee Strand, and the Florida Panther Preserve all right there. As you can see, I-75 comes through here. If enough land can begin to be purchased over here, then we can get the ability to go ahead and get the county to put some wildlife corridors going under I-75 so these panthers and bears can pass through the Picayune Strand and the Fakahatchee Strand without being killed on the roads. This map, I hope you can zoom in here and get a good look at this map. It's a pretty strong map. What it shows here, all these little colored dots, is panther telemetry data, and these are the panthers that have actually been collared that they can track. There's a lot of them out there that they're not tracking. All these little dots represent a different panther, and those are their numbers. And as you can see, these panthers are going way out into this area. They're all over the place here. Tamiami Trail runs through here. You've got a lot of panthers down here, but if you look at I-75, there is just a cluster of trackings of these panthers right there on I-75. All of the yellow triangles are panther mortalities. And as you can see, going here right along I-75, you've got quite a few panther mortalities right in there. You've got quite a few down here at Tamiami Trail too, because the cats are getting squeezed out. Development's coming in from all areas. And along 951, there's been quite a few panther mortalities. Even more astounding when you look at this, these red stars, which there are many of on I-75 and Tamiami Trail, those are bear mortalities. Those are bears that have been killed out there. So this is a very important piece of property in the scheme of things here. The Gore property, as you can see, that's Picayune Strand, that's Panther Preserve, and then you can kind of see how these two maps kind of correlate here, and how important this tract is. You can see from this map here, every single one of these red lines are zoned residential. So technically, if we don't buy this land and preserve it, this 200 acres could have a house some of these are only 75 foot wide, they're an acre and a half, every acre and a half on the thin lots to one house per 5 acre on the bigger lot. So you're talking about a lot of homes that could be built out there, and all of this land could be destroyed. If we can manage to acquire all the Gore holdings, everything around it is the same. These are all zoned residential. But if we can get a group of like-minded people, a lot of people come out who may be looking to build homes and live in a community of like-minded people in a sustainable community, we can do some environmentally friendly homes. We already have an environmental architect on board that's ready to roll with helping do the design on these. We're working with a builder already that can build these homes. And the idea is to get everyone to build a very small footprint of a home, something on stilts, because a lot of this area is wetlands, and they would connect wildlife corridors running through these properties. So you wouldn't just have the 200 acres, But you would have everything around it too, as people started to buy and build, and you would actually connect wildlife corridors going through these properties where the wildlife could pass through. There wouldn't be any fences. And what's happened in a lot of the Golden Gate area, people have come in and they've just literally mowed down all the trees. They've taken out all the habitat, and they've fenced the properties, and they've raised the properties up because it's wetlands and it's not environmentally friendly at all. So what we're trying to do is much bigger than just the 200 acres in the Eco-Spiritual Center. That's just kind of the icing on the cake. So that's pretty much my part of the presentation. We'd like to hear from Catherine Bacchus about how the funding is going to work as people give money. She's with Pegasus Realty, and she'll be handling an escrow account as people donate money to purchase this land. So,
Well, when we started out in March, it was a very ambitious project. And of course, we thought and been in communications with the board trust and their agent. And the program here, as Bobby Lee and Mitch pointed out, the intent is to start to raise money. We believe it will take approximately $800,000 to acquire the property. As donations are made, they will be put into a trust account until all the money is collected to be able to go forward and make the acquisition. From the last meeting, Mitch, you've made phenomenal progress. Bobby, you've done likewise. I mean, these maps are phenomenal. But the intent here is once the word starts to spread and people start making donations, that money, I think, will grow exponentially, because once one group contributes, I think it becomes so that other people see the intent of the people that are involved in it, wish to join them. So I think it can be done, and the funding can start to go in to the account so that we can present to the board trust a plan for acquisition. I think they will also, if we can show a sizable deposit, commit to our cause, and then be able to say, okay, as you collect more money, they will be getting payments. So that's a program. If we can raise a quarter of what we need, I think that there's a good likelihood that they would listen then, because since the county also has it on targeted for acquisition for preservation, as well as the Conservancy, that only amplifies the case, if you will. But in order to make it an eco-spiritual center, once it goes to county conservation, correct me if I'm wrong, it would kind of limit the amount of development that you would do there. Am I correct in this? But if it becomes the 501(c) that we have planned here, then we can ascribe the uses that we want to for the eco-spiritual purposes, for hydroponic gardening, for a variety of uses, for animal preservation, an animal shelter, if you will. But it would be under the auspices of the team that put this whole development together. So we're looking for donations, we're looking for contributions, and we'd like to get the ball rolling. Thank you.
I also want to add again, Marlene reminded me, since this video that we posted, the promo video, has gone viral, it's on our main page, resourcebasedcommunities.org. Since it's gone viral, we have gotten more people from all over the United States and all over the world becoming a part of this organization. We actually have somebody who is going to translate it into Spanish, so we can have a much bigger crowd to see what we're doing. For anybody that's interested in becoming a part of this project, you can join the members section on our website. It's a minimum $15 donation per year, and it's renewed voluntarily. It's not an automated thing. So if anybody is willing to contribute to this, we want to build branches all over the place. This group right here is Lee County, Collier County. We want this to grow, and it is. It's growing fast. And it can only do so with the help of everybody that's involved, and then we can give back. So to those watching on YouTube, and to everybody that has come here, unless I'm forgetting anything else that I should say. No? Okay. I guess that's it. Oh, yes.
Have we set up anything on the website yet that if people want to make a donation, it would be like through PayPal?
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's all.
That's all?
Yep. Yep, it's all through PayPal. There's a donate button, and then for those wanting to become a member, it'll prompt you to that as well.
Okay.
Yes, that's all put together.
And does the website also show any balances as we start like funding it to show that the fund is growing?
We're going to start to do that. There's an actual chip-in meter that we can put in there, and also we can do a Kickstarter as well. But yeah, that's in the works too. We're going to have a meter.
Yeah.
Yep. That will be on there very, very soon.
Also, let people know, I have our corporate documents.
Yes.
You want to get that in the money.
If anybody wants to view our corporate records and our documents, we have it all available here. So that's all. And it's also available on sunbiz.org, Resource-Based Communities, Inc., Incorporated. And we're there too. So you can look at our articles of incorporation. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. And hopefully at the next town hall meeting, we'll have increased exponentially yet again. So